Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here, former Army JAG, former federal prosecutor. I really need to take on Donald Trump's tweet from earlier today because here's what he said, and I quote, "I have instructed the United States Navy to shoot down and destroy all Iranian gunboats if they harass our ships at sea." Let me not bury the lead. That is Donald Trump ordering the commission of war crimes. Now, why do I say that? Back in the 80s, I started as an Army JAG, prosecuting court-martial cases. So when soldiers committed crimes, whether they were uniquely military offenses like AWOL, absence without leave, or disrespect to a superior commissioned officer, or they were more civilian type offenses, robberies, burglaries, assaults, we had jurisdiction to handle those cases, those crimes, by court-martialing soldiers. So I had to learn about the Uniform Code of Military Justice and about the military criminal justice system generally, and also learned a little bit about the rules of engagement. After I left the Army JAG Corps, I joined the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia. And for more than 2 decades while I was there, I handled murder cases in Washington, D.C. First, under my chief of homicide, Bob Mueller, who in a very real sense taught me how to be an assistant U.S. attorney and taught me how to handle murder cases as a federal prosecutor. And then a few years after Bob left our office, I became chief of homicide, and I was responsible for overseeing all murder prosecutions in Washington, D.C. I like to think I know a thing or two about murder cases and about defenses to the crime of murder. So let me start with this general proposition. You can't kill someone for harassing you. That's not lawful. Not in a civilian setting, not if you are a soldier deployed overseas when you're not at war, and at the moment we are not at war. So you can kill someone if, for example, you're exercising legitimate self-defense. So if there is an attack on you and that attack poses a threat of serious bodily injury or death to you, you can repel that attack using force, including deadly force, if it is necessary to protect yourself. That's the law of self-defense. What you can't do in a civilian setting is kill someone because they are harassing you. That's just common sense. It also happens to be the law. Now, in a military setting, if we were at war, then of course the rules change. The rules of engagement would actually allow you to kill an enemy combatant even if you are not defending your own life, even if you are not, as a soldier, at risk of serious bodily injury or death. But we're not at war. And there is no lawful rule of engagement that says if you are a soldier or a sailor or an airman and you're deployed overseas, you're in a foreign theater and you're patrolling, you can kill people who harass you. I would suggest that's also common sense. So when Donald Trump orders somebody via tweet to kill, to shoot down and destroy the gunboats of another country if they are harassing you, that is an unlawful order. Here's the good news, folks. As military members, we are taught that just as we must obey lawful orders, we are duty-bound to disobey unlawful orders. And Donald Trump's tweet is an unlawful order. I have confidence in our military men and women. I have confidence in our military commanders that they are not going to carry out Donald Trump's unlawful order to commit war crimes. That's the good news. The other piece of good news is we have an election coming in November, and we are going to be able to put a stop to this deadly insanity coming out of the Oval Office. The other piece of good news is that I believe to my core, even though it is hard to see it sometimes, that justice is coming. It's just a matter of time. We will get back on track. We will have a law-abiding president. We will have a law-enforcing attorney general. And we will again begin to focus and care about things like decency and empathy and diversity and actually obeying the rule of law in and out of government. Folks, please stay safe. Please stay coronavirus free. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon for another legal update.